Welcome to the second part in our video series on supplier-induced demand. In this video, we're going to be modifying our simple supplier-induced demand framework to include some uncertainty, or what we're going to call diagnostic risk. Let's go. So what is diagnostic risk? Diagnostic risk is simply a scenario where our optimal treatment chosen is distorted by the fact that our physician is unsure about our patient's health status. This is a scenario where our physician is looking to maximize the expected utility of our patient, as opposed to maximizing their direct utility. As a result, our physician will not be perfectly treating either type of patient that goes and sees them. We ask the following question: how does diagnostic risk impact our physician's demand-inducing behavior if they have a profit motive? So we're going to go back to our framework where we're viewing our physician as a social planner, where they're looking to maximize the following value function, where they're looking to maximize patient benefit and their own weighted profits that they're going to be considering. Except now, in our patient benefit function, they're going to be facing what we call diagnostic risk, where either the patient that is before them is going to be a low type, right, which is we're going to be denoting by theta L, or they're going to be a high type that we're going to have here, which is going to be denoted by theta H. Now our task here is to identify the induced demand that goes and occurs. So we're going to, again, follow the same three steps that we had from before. We're going to identify the optimal treatment assuming that there is no profit motive, D star. We're going to identify the optimal treatment assuming that there is a profit motive, D hat, and then we're going to identify the induced demand component, DI, which is going to look at the difference between D hat minus D star. So step number one, we're just going to plug and chug, computing our values here, taking our first order conditions, and we go and we get D star being equal to pi theta L plus 1 minus pi theta H minus gamma D all over 2. Step number two is that we're going to include this profit motive that we have here. Again, just plugging in our values, taking our first order conditions. We go and we get the same part that we have for the beginning, just that now we go and we have alpha PD minus C minus gamma PD, and we're going to put that all over 2. Now we're going to actually take the difference that is between these two. We're going and plugging in these values here, and we're going to go and see that we have a situation where our induced demand is going to be exactly the same as our case from before where there was no diagnostic risk. So we're going to go and say the following: demand inducement is an activity which is independent of our patient status in this framework. So this is something that is quite remarkable. So even though our clinician is going to be facing uncertainty, he is still going to be engaging in the same type of demand inducement behavior that he would go and engage in compared to the case where there would be no risk. So this is actually quite remarkable. So this is our video series on supplier induced demand, a simple framework. Again, definitely not working through the classic McGuire-Pauli model that you would go and see, but I think this framework is a little bit more up to date and a little bit more tractable. So I hope this video series goes and helps and is entertaining at the very least. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.